He saved hundreds of lives, but the one he couldn't save and destroyed him. This story will make you look at strength, pain, and humanity differently. Stay with me till the end, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you see life. The night shift at St. Mary's Hospital was quiet, too quiet. Dr. Ethan Lewis, 38, leaned against the counter, the faint hum of machines filling the silence. He'd been a trauma surgeon for over a decade. To many, he was a hero, calm under pressure, decisive, unstoppable. But that night, something felt different. His hands trembled slightly as he sipped his cold coffee. It's just fatigue, and he told himself. Yet deep inside, there was a storm building, one he couldn't see coming. The doors of the ER burst open. "Critical accident victim incoming, 14-year-old male," shouted the nurse. Ethan rushed forward. The boy was pale, lifeless, his body crushed from a car crash. A small bracelet on his wrist read, "Ryan Lewis." Ethan froze. The surname? Lewis. He looked closer. It wasn't his son, but the resemblance was haunting. He shook it off and jumped into action. "Scalpel. IV fluids, move," he ordered. His voice was steady, but inside his chest was pounding like a drum. Minutes turned into hours. The monitors beeped rapidly, then slowed. "Ethan, we're losing him," cried the nurse. Ethan's hands moved faster. No, not this one. "Come on, kid. Stay with me." But fate had other plans. The flatline tone pierced the silence. For a moment, the world stopped. He stood there, his gloves stained red, staring at the boy's still face. He'd done everything, but it wasn't enough. Hours later, Ethan sat alone in the locker room. The hum of the AC was the only sound. He kept hearing the mother's scream in his head, the kind of scream that cracks something deep inside you. He thought about every life he'd saved, every smile he'd helped restore. But tonight, none of that mattered. Tears rolled down his face. Silent, ashamed, and raw, Ethan remembered his first day as a medical intern. He'd promised himself he'd save everyone. He thought being a doctor meant being unbreakable. But nobody had told him that saving lives also meant losing pieces of your own every time you failed. The years had taken their toll. His son barely saw him. His wife left 2 years ago. All because he thought saving others mattered more than saving himself. The next morning, Ethan sat in the hospital chapel, lost in thought. That's when a woman entered, holding a small girl's hand. She was the mother of the boy he lost. Ethan stood up immediately, guilt in his eyes. "I'm so sorry, ma'am." "I tried," but she stopped him with a gentle smile. "You did everything you could, doctor." She handed him a small note. On it were 5 shaky words. "Thank you for trying, doctor." Ethan's heart broke all over again. That note changed him. For the first time, he realized sometimes healing isn't about saving. It's about showing up, trying, and caring even when you can't fix everything. He started attending counseling for the first time. He spent weekends with his son again. And slowly, the man who was broken by guilt began to heal through gratitude. Years later, Dr. Ethan Lewis became a mentor for young doctors. Whenever someone asked him about his biggest lesson, he'd say, "Medicine doesn't just save patients. It breaks and rebuilds doctors too. Don't lose your soul trying to save the world, because sometimes your own heart needs the surgery." And every time he said that, he thought of Ryan, the boy he couldn't save, but who ended up saving him. We often forget that even the strongest people carry invisible wounds. This story isn't just about a doctor. It's about every one of us who blames ourselves for things we couldn't control. So if you're watching this, remember, it's okay to break. It's okay to heal. Because strength isn't about never falling. It's about finding the courage to rise again. For more stories that heal hearts and inspire souls, subscribe to our channel. where every story reminds you that hope never dies.